All right, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you're at. Welcome to Gaming Tonic. I am just Vince, and I'm joined here today, once again, by my incredible co-host, the man himself,
Devin Crump.
Devin
What's
Crunk.
going on, guys?
Not a
Welcome
lot,
in.
not a lot. How you doing today, man? It's good to see you in here. It's been a second.
Yeah, it's great. I'm extremely tired, but I'm ready. I'm here. I'm game. Let's do it.
Let's go, dude. Extremely tired. Why are you extremely tired? What's going on, man?
Stayed up late last night. I'm grinding Valorant.
Oh gosh, grinding Valorant. Oh,
Yep,
not
yep, yep,
like this. How is that
yep.
going? How's that going?
Uh, it's going.
It's going.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
it's going. It's all
Uh-oh.
right. I'm hard stuck Iron 3.
Hard stuck Iron 3? There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, there is a way. I'm there.
What in
I'm
the
chilling.
world, man? How are you hard stuck Iron 3? Tell me more.
Kicking back because there's Smurfs and bad teammates. All right, I'm blaming everyone but
Well,
myself.
that's because it's their fault, man. It's all
It
their
is their
fault.
fault.
It's completely their fault. Yeah, welcome in to all the people who are filing in right now. We're glad to have you here. It's awesome to see you. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. We got some sick news on the docket, some interesting things to discuss, and we're going to be talking about speed running for our topic today. So, I mean, Kinasu came in and said immediately, "This is a Devin episode, speed running," and I mean that's what it is right there. It's a Devin episode. We're out here speed running. We're talking about it.
Can you tell I picked the topic today?
I said, Devin, what do you want to talk about? And he was like, oh, well, we got virtual reality potentially, and we got some other stuff we could talk about, or we could talk about speed running, and and his face all perked up.
Thing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, what have you been up to, man? What's been going on with you the last week aside from staying up way too late grinding Valorant last night? So, what have you been up to? What's been going on in the world of Devin?
On the stream side of things, I started playing Bayonetta, the first one.
Ooh,
For the first time. I've never
yes.
played it fresh. I've never even seen it, and it's really fun. It gives me like God of War vibes, kind of like feels like the same sort of like button mashy combat where like you're just zooming around, having a good time. I don't know. I feel invincible. Ignore
Bro,
the times I die though. That's
I love Bayonetta. I think
so
Bayonetta is
fun.
amazing, bro. Like,
It's
I'm a
so good.
huge fan of that game.
I
I
didn't expect to like it as much as I do.
really. I say, have you
Yeah.
played any other games from Platinum Games before? Have you played like what? I mean, I'm pretty sure they did Beautiful Joe as well. The Wonderful 101, Bayonetta. They did like Avatar: The Last Airbender game, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, a Transformers game. All the same like high octane action, like beat 'em up games, like the whole way around. Have you played any other games before?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh,
I
bro.
might have played that Avatar game at some point.
Bro, like when you get a chance, okay, if when you finish Bayonetta, if you're looking for another action game to get into, go just look through the Platinum Games library, man. All
I
their
will.
stuff is incredible. It's so good. It's so good.
Noted.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to play Bayonetta too. I think I like it enough. I think I'm gonna just like move on. But
you should.
anyways, yeah, I played Bayonetta. On Friday, I did Wikipedia speedruns. Funny enough, you know what that is?
I think I've seen a YouTube video of it. From what I remember, it's you start out with one word, topic,
Yeah,
whatever person thing, and you try to get as fast as you can to another one, only clicking the links on Wikipedia.
yeah, exactly. Only the little blue clickables on the articles.
Okay, how did it go?
It was a good time. I invited Shrimpy on, and
Nice.
we did a little competition with some stakes, and
What were the
of course
stakes?
I won. The
Naturally.
stakes were $5 on PayPal, and I got to make a tweet on his account.
Is that what that tweet was?
Yeah.
I saw a tweet on Twitter that was basically not Shrimpy saying, "Wow, Devin is the most like wonderful person in the world. He's an excellent streamer," or something like that. Like
Big brained.
yeah, nothing but gas, just nothing but gas the whole way. Like nothing but love for Devin Kronk. I was like, that's a very heartfelt, wonderful tweet. Apparently, it was only you.
It was all me.
Alright.
I was pulling the strings in the back on that one. But
Fair
yeah, it was
enough.
fun. It was a good time.
Fair enough. Right on, man. That's
How
funny
about you?
stuff.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
good. How was your week?
Bro, my week was awesome. As you know, we missed the podcast last week because last week was the content creator only alpha for Swords of Legends Online. We gave some beta
Yeah.
codes away for that. I hit max level on my summoner trying that out. It was pretty fun. I don't think I'm gonna stick with the summoner going forward, honestly. Not really. It doesn't really fit my playstyle. The closed beta just started yesterday for anybody who's pre-ordered or caught a beta key, and they are still doing beta key giveaways if you want to get in on the game. But I'm probably going to be playing more of that later tonight and tomorrow because the beta is going on this weekend, and then there's another beta starting on June 1st. But I don't know how much I'm going to play that one because Burning Crusade Classic comes out June 1st, and I've also been leveling a lot for Burning Crusade Classic this week, so I've had that going on. And then obviously Smite streams on a regular basis. I mean, that's my main game. It's going really well. I've had some of the best numbers I've had during the daytime this week for some reason. I don't know exactly what's going on, but like things are starting to swing my way on the daytime streams too. So we're starting to kind of exactly
in.
Yeah. I think the adjustments kicking in, and people are starting to like find my stream in the muck. Someone told me I was like on the recommended channel for Smite apparently.
Nice.
For Twitch, so that's you love to see that when the algorithm starts going your way, considering the Twitch algorithm very rarely goes goes the way of anyone with less than 1,000 viewers. So you love to see it. It's been an awesome week, man. I've been having a lot of fun. Yesterday, I was unfortunate enough to have to play. I mean, I don't know how much you know about Smite, but Persephone is one of my least favorite characters in that game. Like what's that?
I think I was lurking last night and I just heard you putting the most dirt on her name. Like, I was like, man, what's going on here?
Oh, bro. Like, oh my gosh. And Toby, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub as well. You absolutely beautiful, incredible man. We love you so much here, Toby. Thank you. 5 whole months of support, you unbelievable man. But I was unfortunate enough to have to play Persephone for a game because enough people wanted it, and I was like, fine, And I should have known, because legitimately, I tried to play Persephone 2 times before the third time I finally got in. What happened was, literally the entire server just collapsed.
Oh, no.
Literally all of it just like it died. Like multiple people disconnected on both sides. Like the majority of our teams disconnected on both sides twice in a row when I tried to play Persephone. I should have listened to the universe. I should have listened when it was like, yo, don't do this. It's gonna be a mistake, okay? And I tried again a third time, all right? And that third time, it was legit just 25 minutes of me just being absolutely miserable. I'm never gonna do it again. It's not worth it. I had to play a game of Loki, and everyone knows I despise Loki players, okay? Because of the way they play the game. But I had fun. I can't lie.
That's what matters.
I somewhat enjoyed it, you know what I mean? So it's 50-50. You know what I mean? I still am not crazy about Loki players, but at the same time, I kind of get where they're coming from. So we'll see. It's a work in progress. We're slowly becoming more accepting of that. Hi, my kitty's here and she wants attention apparently. But yeah, I mean, all in all, it's been an awesome week, dude. We've been having a good time. So I'm glad to hear that your week was good. Are you ready to get into some news, man?
Of course, always.
Always, of course. Oh, let's go. Awesome. All right, so Ubisoft says it's changing its strategy to focus on more high-end free-to-play games, and that's from VideoGameChronicle.com. I mean, is this even remotely surprising to you at this point?
Nah, Ubisoft's weird.
I mean, I look at the games that Ubisoft... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I look at the games that Ubisoft's been releasing for $60 anyways, and they have all the same stuff that free-to-play games have. So, if Ubisoft is going to literally use those tactics anyways, give more people the game for free. Cool with me.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla has the same loot mechanics as Genshin Impact.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
It's just, yeah, pretty much.
Wait.
You hit ore, you pick up ore, you find some chests, you get some stuff out of that. Stuff falls out of bodies, you pick that up. Same thing.
What the heck, dude?
I think the combat's better, but
it's definitely better. Yeah, it's for sure better. Yeah. Yeah, Kitty has come up to visit. She wants pets right now apparently, so Kitty can have pets. Yeah. Or he came to say hello. But like I look at games like Rainbow Six Siege, which like the business model for that game has been one that's been reminiscent of free-to-play games for a while now. Even though it is still a purchase-to-enter game, they do a lot of the seasonal cycles. They do loot boxes. They do all that stuff. A lot of like cosmetics is what they sell inside of the game for the most part, and new operators, I believe, when they come out. So I mean, I think that this is a good change. I mean, especially looking at like Ghost Recon Breakpoint that came out. and was an absolute disaster because of like the monetization and all the RPG mechanics that they just stuffed into that game for no reason. And I think realistically, if that had released as a free to play game, people would have been like, oh, cool, free Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and then do all the other microtransaction garbage that they're going to do anyways. I
Yeah,
mean,
dude.
I don't hate that idea.
I mean, that's essentially how they brought Siege back from the dead. Is they just gave it a starter edition, made it free every other Tuesday or something on Steam, and sure enough, people caught on to it.
Yeah.
So maybe they saw that and now they're like, we should just do this all the time. Like,
I mean, it worked. I
yeah,
mean, if For Honor goes free to play, I mean, that's going to get a huge boost in interest. You know what I mean?
that'd be sick.
I know there's going to be people who would be down to try that out, and even though that has one of the highest barriers for entry of, I think potentially any like a medieval combat game on the market right now, it definitely feels a lot harder than like Chivalry or Mordhau or any of those. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens, man. We'll see what happens. Have you heard about the Skull and Bones delay? Because that apparently got delayed again as well. Do you remember
Dang,
Skull and Bones?
yeah, I do. Yeah, I want that game really bad. I like pirate games. I think they're cool.
Yeah.
Just you said 3 months?
What's up?
How
I don't know how
how
long it
long?
got delayed for. I just know that it got
Oh,
delayed. Yeah, Skull and Bones did
yeah.
get delayed again. And I look at something like that and I'm like, do you think that potentially they could be looking at shifting Skull and Bones towards a free to play game? Looking
Ah,
at this news about, that's what they're shifting towards.
that's a good take on it. Possibly. I think that game would make a great free to play game
I think so too. I say,
centered around like ship combat with people online.
and I mean, look at all the cosmetic stuff you can do in Sea of Thieves to your ship, you know?
Yeah,
And like, there's no way that they couldn't like dial up all of the
they
cosmetic
could
stuff you can
level
do
it.
with those ships.
Yeah.
The only thing I wouldn't want to see is them getting a little bit too crazy with it. Like, I don't really want like pink sparkle unicorn rainbow pirate ship like fighting me in combat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
want that either.
like in a lot of games, I'm cool with that. Like even in MMO games, I don't really care too much about like some of the crazy stuff that they do inside of MMO games to make your characters look different and stuff like that. And, like get a little bit extra with the costumes, that sort of thing. But this is a pirate game. These are pirate ships.
It's gotta fit the
It's not
setting,
Mario
yeah.
Kart. Like I don't want it to look like Mario Kart. I
Yeah,
want it to
no.
look like a pirate ship. I just want it to look like a really cool pirate ship. But like you tell me that I can have my pirate ship be like on fire and smoking and stuff like that as I do
That would
combat
be
with other
cool.
people, like that'd be sick.
Yeah, that's intimidating.
Give me some like Flying Dutchman themed like pirate ships. I'm there for that. That's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so we'll see
I
we'll see where they take it.
what they usually do, I feel like with their cosmetics is you know how they have that Uplay store and you get points for doing their little Uplay achievements and,
Hmm.
and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think what they'll probably do is make like ship designs from like other games because usually those cosmetics involve like other games they've made. So like maybe you'll be able to get sails that have the Rainbow Six Siege logo on them or like the
yeah,
Assassin's Creed logo or something. That's probably where I would guess that's where they would take it
and even
as
that,
far as that goes.
I'd be more than fine with that.
Yeah,
Like
me
the
too. I
flags or
think that's all
whatever.
right.
I think that'd be awesome. So our next piece of news, it's a rumor, so take this with a little bit of a grain of salt, but I know a lot of people care about Battlefield. We talk about Battlefield, fairly often in both of our friend groups. I think a lot of people have a really soft spot for Battlefield in their heart, whether it's from like Battlefield Bad Company 2, Battlefield 4, like
Yeah.
whichever one was the last good one that you remember. But apparently Battlefield 6 may not have a story campaign mode. And realistically, I mean, I didn't play the last Battlefield. I mean, I haven't really sunk time into a Battlefield since Battlefield 4 personally. That was the last one that really like grabbed my interest.
Yeah, same
I've
here.
heard nothing but bad things about like the more recent entries, unfortunately. How do you feel about it not having a campaign mode, man?
Kind of sad. I mean, I remember when I did play Battlefield, the campaigns were always really fun and immersive.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I feel like they're taking out something that could have been good, but at the end of the day, I like the multiplayer more anyway. So at least they're keeping that. At
Yeah.
least we got the game.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and I think that for the most part, that's where a lot of people sink their time in is in the multiplayer.
Yeah.
So I'm not super hurt by this. I think that if it means we're actually going to get like a properly good Battlefield multiplayer, I would actually rather have that. I would also rather they not charge $60 for it. Maybe like charge 40. But the fact that it's included in EA Play Pro Plus Super Edition, I don't know
Omega.
what the heck it's called nowadays. They change the name of all their subscription services all the time. But like I think that as long as the multiplayer is good and worth playing, I'll be down for it, And
Yeah.
as much as I hate to admit it, I'd be down to see like a different battle royale come out from Battlefield if they can do it well.
That would be interesting. That's a hot take.
I mean, because I know for a while there, people were like, "Oh my gosh, please, no more battle royale games. Please, we've had enough. I don't want any more." You know what I mean? But like, I feel like personally, I've reached the point where now, like, I kind of miss battle royale games. Like, I've actually started going back and playing PUBG over the last couple of weeks because the gun mechanics are just so good in that game, and like the servers are actually semi-stable now and working, somewhat well. And I just I try to go and play Warzone. I try to look at my friends playing Warzone, and they're dying to the same just like horrible mechanics, horrible servers, horrible bugs, constant hackers, like everything else over and over again. And I'm just like, there's no way I can go back to that, And Apex, it's like it's fun, but it's a different kind of fun, Like it's a different level of sweat. Like Apex is like the blood pumping, like on the edge of your seat, running fast, like shooting in the air and like all that stuff and all the character abilities and everything else. Like it's really fast. I wouldn't mind a slower tactical BR.
Apex has my little brother in the living room telling people to suck his balls. It's a different breed for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
13-year-old little brother.
Okalith in the chat mentioned the Fallout 76 BR, and I've actually never played it. I've never given it a try. I thought it was a limited time mode. Is it still in the game? Do we know? Have you tried it?
Played that game? No, not I.
I've got Fallout 76. I got a copy for like $7 on clearance when everybody hated it. So I've got it like linked to my Bethesda account, and I can download it somewhere. But even still,
yeah. Maybe not. But I don't know. Battlefield, so I feel like I picked up the last game they made because I got it real cheap on sale, and I feel like you could kind of tell that they were moving away from a campaign. Like it was more it was weird. It wasn't like a full campaign. It was more like a mission based kind of single player where like, all right, you go down this story path and you play as the dude that's in the tanks, and you go down this one and it's the dude that's in the airships. Like it was different.
Like the Spec Ops missions from like Black Ops?
Yeah,
Call of Duty Black Ops, like that kind of?
They were a little like more extended, I guess, but it was kind of like that, like the way that it was laid out in the menu.
Gotcha. Bullbolt asked in the chat, did you see the Skydome game? I got myself a closed beta key. I've not even heard of Skydome, and now I want to look it up because I love new things. Have you heard of Skydome yet?
I haven't. I'm Googling right now.
Yeah, I mean, Google it. Let me know what you think. We're gonna scoot on to the next piece of news, but no, I've never heard of that. If you got any more information, I'd love to hear about it. It's a 4v4 dungeon defense MOBA.
Whoa.
Ooh, that's a little bit of a genre mashup there. It sounds like some like here. Let me Google it too. I'm curious. Skydome. All right, I haven't heard of this yet, but like just listening to that, it sounds like some like maybe Dungeon Defenders meets MOBAs vibes. I mean, looking at the art style, it definitely looks like somewhere between Torchlight and Dungeon Defenders for sure. Like very heavily inspired from those. Yo, this looks awesome. When is the closed beta starting? Do we know? This actually looks really cool. Okay, I'm gonna do more looking into this. I'm actually gonna leave this tab open. Thank you for bringing that up, Bullbolt. I had not even heard of this game. That looks very neat. All right.
Most definitely.
It's already started. All right. Well, we gotta get on that. We gotta reach out and see if we can get a beta key or something. We'll try to figure it out. But Grand Theft Auto 5 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S releases November 11th. Are you ready to buy Grand Theft Auto 5 again?
No.
On the third generation of consoles that it's been on?
No. I'll just keep it on my PC.
We have had 2 consoles release since we have gotten a new Grand Theft Auto game.
That is so disappointing.
2 whole consoles have released. I mean, technically you can include the Nintendo Switch and the Wii U, right? Didn't the Wii U release after Grand Theft Auto 5 came out? When did the Wii U come out?
Yeah, definitely.
It did. Was the Wii U 2014?
It was after 2013. I know that for a fact.
Oh, no, the Wii U release date was November 18th, 2012. Close. We almost missed the deadline.
Dang, Wii U was 2012?
Yeah, but nobody
really
realized.
Under my radar.
Yeah, nobody knew. Because it was awful. But to give you guys an idea, Grand Theft Auto 5 originally released on September 17th, 2013. Grand Theft Auto 4 released April 29th, 2008. Okay, so that's roughly a 5-year cycle, 5.5-year cycle in between the previous Grand Theft Auto and the most recent Grand Theft Auto. And even if you're considering Red Dead Redemption, okay, Red Dead Redemption came out May 18th, 2010, and Red Dead Redemption 2 came out October 26th, 2018. So that's an 8-year cycle, okay? And we still haven't even had news of Grand Theft Auto 6 yet that's been confirmed. Like we haven't even like we've heard rumblings obviously because you know they're working on it because they have to be because they love the money. But at the same time, like I don't see any way that they release Grand Theft Auto 6 like any time before Grand Theft Auto 5 starts to fall off and stop making them money because right now they're still raking in the cash.
They like to just dangle it. It's like the carrot on a stick, man. Keeping us hoping, wishing. We're chasing after the carrot, but we might not ever catch it.
Yeah. And I mean,
Tragic.
On top of that, you have people like XQC coming out here and doing the GTA RP servers, getting 100,000 viewers on a game that came out in 2013. You know,
All, we don't need to make
why
a new
would
one.
you release a new one? You know, that's my question.
Right.
But at the same time, there's their entire like fan base who loved the single player side of all the Grand Theft Auto games. Who's like, where's our single player story DLC? Where's anything that caters to us? Red Dead Redemption is cool, but it's really slow. You know, like some people got turned off by that. And I mean, I look at the release cycles and I'm like, they are going to milk this for all it's worth. I mean, releasing it on a third generation of consoles, I get it, but man, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Kind of an interesting look for them, I think.
Do you have a PS5 or an Xbox Series X? You don't have one yet, do you?
Nah.
Are you going to buy one?
Maybe one day, you know, when it's not price gouged or or just not in stock.
Yeah. I mean, something that I haven't looked at is like if they're doing some kind of a graphical upgrade for the PC players too, you know, kind of like some of the higher end mods and things like that, like the graphical update mods the PC players have to kind of like boost how the game looks on PC currently. And I just hope that if they do, they don't make us pay for it because that wouldn't surprise me.
That would be so rude. Don't do us like that, please.
But do you think they would?
I would hope not. Like, but who knows? I've been wrong before.
You're not wrong. Unfortunate. But in much more significantly positive news, Terraria celebrated its 10th anniversary. The game came out on May 16th, 2011, and Terraria has so far sold 35 million units. Have you played Terraria?
Yeah.
Same.
I never got really into it, but I dabbled.
I mean, it's what, $10? $15 maybe,
something like that.
What's the price of Terraria? Let me double check real quick. Terraria. It might be on sale because of the anniversary event that's going on right now. But Terraria, Terraria Steam. I could have sworn it was $10. Say I'm like 90% sure that it's $10.
It is $10.
It is $10. Okay, thank you. I mean, realistically, I don't know how many hours I have on Terraria. I can check my Steam library right now though because I'm kind of curious. Like I know that I played it on Steam. Terraria. Here we go.
I never played it too much, but I got an idea of it. I always wanted to play with my friends, and back when I was getting into it, you had to have like a private server and stuff. I don't know how it works nowadays, but it was like too complicated for my little middle school brain to understand.
I mean, I think I got Terraria on sale actually whenever I bought it, but I have 10 hours in Terraria, almost 11, 10.8 hours on Terraria. And realistically, even if I had bought it for $10, I mean, it's a really charming 2D Minecraft game with a little bit more customizability and some really cool bosses and stuff that you can fight. I think Terraria is an awesome game. I think it's excellent. Cool. You know? I mean, I got a lot of love for the game. I'm glad to see it doing this well and being successful, you know? I love to see just like passionate, awesome indie products that play well and do exactly what they're trying to do perfectly and knock it out of the park succeed. Yes. You know? And they've continued to come out with awesome updates for the game and continued to give it really good support. And they've tried to release a couple of other games that are kind of in the same vein. Starbound, I think, also was like the space one from them, and it didn't do as well. But I mean, you know, Terraria, at least they're trying new things with the success that they found, and I respect it. You know, I really like these developers a lot.
I agree completely, and they succeeded, man, because they're done updating now, right?
They were.
That's it.
I think they announced the last update was going to be the final one.
Yeah.
No more Terraria updates.
The end. Yeah, so they did it, man. Hats off to them. Good job.
I'm kind of curious to see where they take it next, honestly. I would love to see something kind of like what the Risk of Rain developers did. Did you play the original Risk of Rain?
No, I only played the second one.
The original Risk of Rain was actually a 2D side-scrolling action roguelike.
Yeah,
So I
I
mean,
I remember seeing that one. Never tried it myself though.
mm-hmm.
That game was crazy looking. I regret not playing that. I could still
And it
think
was
about that. Get back into it.
it was excellent. Risk of Rain 1 was one of the like most recommended games on the PlayStation Vita actually, because that was a console that didn't
Yeah,
get a whole lot of games. But like Risk of Rain Run 1 was a banging time. It was excellent. And with the success that they had from Risk of Rain 1, it had a pretty cult following, honestly. It wasn't like a huge blockbuster game or anything like that. They were able to go make Risk of Rain 2. And I would be super down to see what they could do with like, the Terraria concept, just, dial it up to 11, get it out there,
yeah.
make it 3D, do something extra with it, give us a bigger Terraria universe. I'd be super down for that. I mean, I'd be even more down if it looked a little bit more, like HD than Minecraft, honestly. Like
Yeah.
make the blocks a little bit smaller, even look potentially towards voxel, you know? I'd be very down for that.
Yeah, you got high aspirations for Terraria. Okay.
Well, I mean, you gotta look at the success of this studio and what they've been able to do so far with a game like this, you know? I mean, I can't imagine they're just like trying to retire at this point. I
I
mean, maybe,
honestly,
but who knows?
I think what you said is probably the most like logical thing that they would, the most logical next step they would take. Because I don't really what. So just Starbound. That's all they made.
As far as I
Not too
know.
informed on this developer.
Say
Relogic. Scrolling right
Logic.
now.
You're looking through their game library
Yeah,
as we speak.
Pixel Piracy. That game was pretty cool, but I think it flopped. It
I
was
never
like
played it.
Terraria but pirates.
Yeah,
And then Pixel Privateers. Those are the only games I'm seeing on Steam.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's definitely opportunity for expansion here for sure. You know,
Yeah.
there's definitely other places they could take it, and I'm curious to see where they go. Because I doubt they're done. I doubt they're done.
Yeah, and, sure hope not. After major success.
So
Keep it going.
yeah, no kidding. Twitch has lowered its subscription prices in most countries to reflect the cost of living. I love it.
Yeah.
That's a great change.
That's a wholesome piece of news.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of the last time I heard wholesome news about Twitch, honestly. So I'm more than happy to see some good news coming out about the platform, because a lot of it's been doom and gloom, disappointment, frustration, annoyance, hot tub streams, everything else. And realistically, I think the Twitch looks at the landscape and they're like, you know what, we're making more than enough money off of these hot tub streams. We can afford to let people pay fair prices in their region. So I think they'll call it good. I think they'll be more than okay.
Great news.
Yeah. So, also a GTA 5 player on the subject of both speedrunning, Grand Theft Auto 5 news, and, whatever else this is, beat the entire game in 9 hours without taking a hit. And I mean, this was an article from PC Gamer. He beat the entire game of Grand Theft Auto 5 in 9 hours without taking one hit. He was using a mod, okay, that would kill him instantly if any damage got taken. And I mean, to give the player credit, his name is Unnamed, capital UN and D. Unnamed. All one word. And I mean, one hit KO run of Grand Theft Auto 5. That's insane.
Man, can you imagine? That's awful. He probably tried so hard to not get wanted levels throughout that whole playthrough.
I have
He was
no
an
idea.
upstanding citizen in Grand Theft Auto.
Stops at every single red light, holds the
Yeah,
door
dude.
open for the AI pedestrians, like just all around good guy doing his
I
Grand
don't
Theft
even-
Auto run.
I feel like I get shot in that game without even like doing anything. That sounds brutal.
I mean, the amount of times that I accidentally like stepped the wrong direction and got hit by a car or something like that. I mean, or just like flipped my bike or something like that. I mean, I died all the time in Grand Theft Auto. My most mommy said she died in the tutorial. I mean, yeah, that first tutorial mission where you're like doing a robbery or whatever, and there's bullets flying everywhere. How do you not take a hit during that? I died multiple times during the tutorial. I'm garbage. Like the thought that someone could do this is insane to me. You know, like
There must be some type of strat. He figured something out. There's no way.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Eriko said, "Any thick lady? What is that vampire lady from Resident Evil?
I honestly I don't know how to pronounce
Dimitrescu?
her.
I don't know how to
think
pronounce her
I think
name.
it's something like that.
Yeah, I have no idea. No, there's no thick lady
Dimitrescu?
Demi news. What were you gonna ask?
Oh, I was wondering if it counted if it was only like raw HP or if he could wear body armor. Was it any type of damage?
If
No
he
hits whatsoever?
if he gets hit one time, he gets killed no matter what he's
Okay.
wearing. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
The mod kills him instantly if any damage at all is taken. So, and I don't think that body armor prevents damage. I think it just reduces it, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
It adds like another health bar, I think, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a straight up kill. That's a straight up kill.
God.
Absolutely crazy. And I mean, it's perfectly on topic for speedrunning, and it just segues us right into our topic for the day, which is speedrunning. Have you ever tried to, or considered, or even known that people did speedruns of Grand Theft Auto 5?
No, actually, I did. I mean, if you would have asked me like you think people are doing it, I'd probably say yes because I feel like people speedrun weird stuff. But like,
Yeah.
man, a no hit run, that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, he's out there. I can't imagine. I've heard of people doing the like no hit runs of Dark Souls, and that's the
Yeah.
only game that I've heard that from. Honestly, is Dark Souls no hits. And then obviously Bloodborne, Soulsborne games, Sekiro, things like that. But I haven't heard anybody trying to do it with Grand Theft Auto 5 or similar games.
No hit's a pretty popular speedrun category in general, but like Grand Theft Auto just seems like such an out of place game for that category. It's so weird.
That's what I'm saying, dude. But he did it. He did
Yeah.
it. I
Good
mean,
for you. No, what was it? No named?
unnamed.
Sorry, unnamed.
Yeah, absolute legend.
Congrats to him.
Teddy also said, "I speedran the new Spider-Man games for fun. What was your time? If you're down to share it with us." But so Devin, have you ever done a speedrun of a game?
No, never. No. Yeah, absolutely.
What games do you
I've
speedrun?
played so pretty much only Super Mario Odyssey at this point. That was the one I saw and I was like, that's the one. I like that. That movement looks fun. The game doesn't seem too long, once you get the hang of the run, it's about an hour and a half or less. And like it appealed to me. I liked it a lot. And then I did the wiki speed runs too, if you want to count that.
Mm-hmm.
My best time was 1 minute and 27 seconds, by the way.
Wow, that's actually pretty good.
It was all right.
Just a humble brag. Yeah, I was doing
Yeah,
okay. Nothing to worry about.
okay.
We
Yeah.
all right. We out here. No sweat. Teddy said he speedran the Spider-Man games in 3 hours and got 100% completion for the Spider-Man game.
Dang, in 3 hours?
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
good.
cool. Yeah.
That's pretty good. We take those.
Absolutely. What about you, man? You ever done a speed run?
I have
Ever tried one?
never tried a speed run. The closest I think I've gotten was Mario Kart Double Dash, okay? I think it was Double Dash. It may have been Mario Kart Wii, one of those two. I know I did it on both of them. I mean, you had to go through and beat certain times on the time trials to unlock all the characters. Or like all the
Okay.
carts or whatever it was. And like going through and like beating the times on that and going through and trying to constantly beat my personal best, trying to like find new shortcuts, trying to hit different angles, manage my drifts properly, use different carts, that sort of thing. Like that's probably the closest thing that I have to like compare to a speed run, honestly. Was like doing Mario Kart time trials. And I think that's like really different, honestly. I didn't try to like beat all of them in a certain time frame or the whole game or anything like that. It was just like
Yeah.
that's the closest I've done to like comparing splits and constantly trying to improve on my time and my strategy. So that's probably the
Well,
closest comparison I have right there.
think about it. Racing games pretty much are just big speed running games.
Yeah.
Just who can get to the end faster.
Yeah. I've never tried to like speed run a game that wasn't intended to be a race though.
Yeah.
I've never
get
given
you.
that an attempt. But I mean it always looked cool, you know? So
Yeah.
you said you've done a
What-
Mario Odyssey and Wikipedia speedrun, right? Are those the only two?
I'm trying to rack my brain. I think that's about it.
Okay.
I might end up trying Resident Evil 4 runs.
There we go.
I'm gonna learn a little bit of the route, see if it's something I like before I get right into it. But yeah, I'm thinking about that one. And then I was thinking about Ghost Runner for a little bit too. Have you seen that game?
I have. That game looks
Ghost
like it's
Runner's-
designed for it.
Oh, absolutely. But I wanted to do that and learn the route, but then they announced Ghost Runner 2, so I was like, maybe I just wait for the new one, learn the route for that. Be at the forefront of the running when that happens. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I say getting
Learn
in
it.
on
Learn it while it's being routed. That would be sick.
I mean, getting in on something like that at launch, it's like playing like a new online game as soon as it comes out. You know what I mean? Like being a part of
Yeah.
that community and like comparing your splits to everybody else's splits and all the racing and everything like that. That's awesome, dude. I think that'd
Yeah.
be super cool.
That's one of the appeals for me for sure. Is just like the speedrunning community itself. It feels like very, it's competitive yet like friendly. It's cool.
Yeah, most definitely. I think you're absolutely right on that. I mean, if from now on, anytime I hear Devin start a sentence with "if you think about it," I'm going to imagine him blowing bubbles out of a pipe surrounded by books.
I need a bubble pipe.
That's a very specific image. I think if I were to do speedruns realistically, I'd probably be looking at a game like Neo potentially, because
That would be cool.
I was having a lot of fun doing that game. I think Sekiro might be a little bit like too much for me, honestly. I think Neo is like just enough on the like slightly easier side of the Dark Souls games, you know, with like
Yeah.
some like flexibility in the combat and stuff like that the Dark Souls doesn't quite have. I think the Soulsborne games are a little bit more unforgiving than the Neo games personally, like from my experience playing them. But I think a Sekiro speedrun would be, or not Sekiro, Neo speedrun or Neo 2 speedrun would be really fun. I just finally started
I
delving
could
into
see
Neo
that.
2 a bit more.
It would probably come down to running as fast as you can to the forced boss fights, learning those fights extremely well, and then rinse and repeat. Maybe there's clips or something. I don't know. I could never be one of the people that routes clipping through stuff and finding those little game breaking things. That's crazy to me, but that's why other people do it for me, I guess.
I'm
Thank you.
I'm trying to like rack my brain and think if there's any platformer that I'd be down to do it on. Because I watch your Mario Odyssey speedruns sometimes, and I'm just like, dude, how? Like how? Like some of the strats
Practice.
you pull off, I'm just like, I have no desire to ever try to attempt to do something like that. I'll just run out of patience and get frustrated. I don't
I
think
don't
I
even
have it
feel
in
like I'm
me.
good, man. Like some of the high level players, like it's insane. I feel that way about watching them.
Do people speedrun like Nintendogs? That might be a little bit more my speed. We might be
That's
able to.
actually there. I watched a YouTube video about about that.
Of course, people speedrun
Yeah.
Nintendogs. They're just like scratching on their DS trying to walk their dog faster.
Hey, you're trying to get gold obedience medals as fast as you can on like all your dogs or something. It's something
Bro,
weird like that.
that's actually kind of funny. I had no idea that that was actually a thing, but of course it's a
Yeah.
thing. People will watch anything. It's the internet. We're out here.
Yes,
So
sir.
what for you is the appeal of speed running? You know, because like I've talked to you a while, a few, you know, for a long time and a few times about like, you know, what do you feel like your niche is? Where do you feel like you're, you know, really fitting in on Twitch? What is it that you're really passionate about doing? And for the most part, you've stuck to variety streaming. But I would feel
Yeah.
like the most consistent thing that I've seen you do, okay, is like these games like this that you can speed run and like really challenging things on stream. So like
Well,
what's the appeal there for you?
I was gonna say like I think my most consistent thing wouldn't even necessarily be the speed running. It's more just like I like to punish myself. Just
Hmm.
like I like to do things that are really hard
For content,
for
obviously.
myself for content. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. So like it kind of started with me watching speedruns and being like this is interesting. I like this. This looks hard. It would be something that would be fun to like learn and grow while I'm streaming. So like I took one Sunday and just watched a whole route of Odyssey, tried it, and then I just streamed it and got better, more comfortable with the movement, stuff like that. It was cool. I think the biggest appeal is just the challenge. I like stepping outside of my comfortable place and making myself mauled a little bit, you know?
But at the same time, every time I talk to you about or bring up Dark Souls or Souls-like games, you're like, okay, but not that.
So the thing with speedrunning, to add, I guess, I like that it's fast. It's speedrunning. I don't have to like dedicate, you know, weeks of my time to a game because I got that hummingbird brain. I keep moving. That's why I variety stream. I can't stick on things too long. So speedrunning, it's just this quick like, okay, we get in, we play for an hour, 20 minutes, hour 30, like, and then we're done. Boom. Just like that. And then I get this gratification because I just did a speed run. It's supposed to be like a challenging thing, you know? So it feels good.
Okay, but again, why not Dark Souls? If you
Because
like the punishment, if you
I
like
don't
the
want to speed
challenge,
run Dark Souls, and I don't. It would be a long drawn out process because I'm not good at games. It would be brutal. It would be difficult for all parties involved.
I would say though that it's easier than Pogo Stuck. You know?
Now, I don't know about I don't that I don't have words for that. I feel like it would be harder. I think I've gotten comfortable enough with Pogo Stuck that it just doesn't feel that hard anymore though.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying though. I mean, I watched you before you got comfortable with Pogo Stuck, and it was grueling, man. I mean, it was like you're there biting your nails and pulling out your hair and struggling and just molding and like it was pain. It was pain for me to watch. I can't imagine how it felt to play it. I mean, I can't in my head wrap my mind around, like, as someone who plays Dark Souls, you know what I mean? I mean, you've seen me do my Dark Souls, my Neo playthroughs, stuff like that. I mean, I know that you've been in there for a few of those, and like,
Yeah.
I can't fathom, like why, like, to you, it seems like you're okay with beating your head against the wall that is Pogo Stuck, that I think is like way more unforgiving and punishing than Dark Souls personally. Okay, but like you hesitate to like branch out into the like action RPG side of it. Like that's a mystery to me.
It's the time. It's the time sink. That's all it is. Pogo Stuck always felt like something I could get up and walk away from, or like,
Mhm.
there's no plot there. There's nothing I have to really pay attention to. It's just like mind-numbing jumping up and down and falling.
And see, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Some Dark Souls fans might get a little bit upset at me about this, but it is what it is. I have no idea what the story of Dark Souls is. I have absolutely no clue.
I was expecting you to say that. That's pretty funny.
I mean, I've played every single Soulsborne game that I can get my hands on. Okay, I've played every single one to my knowledge that's come out, besides Ashen. I didn't try that one, and I think another one came out called Mortal Coil that didn't look that good either. I'm pretty sure that was the name of it. That was like a Souls-like clone. Every
Yeah.
other one, I mean, I've played the Surge games; those are a little bit familiar too. I played both of those. I mean, I love this genre. I have no clue what happens in the story. I just like action RPG games. I think
Swinging the
that,
sword.
yeah, I just love the feeling of the combat. So like for me, if I were to speedrun a game like that, I think that it would be like, I don't know if they do Dark Souls speedruns for like specific suits of armor or anything like that, but like I hate the idea of just like running around as a naked as fast as you possibly can and not getting hit by the bosses because you dodge roll with your iframes and stuff like that. But if I could do like a run like based on a certain class with a certain armor set and weapon and stuff like that and do the whole run with that, I think that'd be super cool and I'd be down
Yeah.
for that. But like I I don't think I like the speedrunning side of the Souls games. The part that I like is
I don't think I
finding
do
loot and
either.
upgrading my character and like playing the game the way I want to play, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you.
So,
If I play Dark Souls, which I would like to, don't get me wrong. I'm not super against it or anything. I just need to clear time and stuff. But like, I don't think I would speed run it. I would want to do like a nice casual playthrough where I just die a lot. That sounds like a fun time to me.
yeah. And that's the other thing. I think there's some games that are like you play a game and you're like, this is clearly something that can be speed ran, you know? I think
Yeah,
platformers in general are really well suited to that. I
yeah,
mean, we'll talk
that's where it
about,
started.
yeah, we'll talk about games done quick, you know, a little bit later, but like one of my like most of my favorite things to watch, you know, get speed run are platformers. I think it's so
Yeah,
impressive to see the strategies that people employ and the things that they do. You know, that the way that they maneuver the game, the way they pilot their character, the way that they sometimes break things in their favor, you know, the way that there are runs where you can use glitches and not use glitches, that sort of thing. And I mean,
yeah.
I've talked about it before, but like my first entry into speedrunning was watching someone play Super Monkey Ball.
That's
And
that's a great one
and
and an
man,
impressive one.
if you have not seen the Super Monkey Ball
Yeah,
speedruns, look them up on YouTube. I'm
they're
telling
gnarly.
you. They're
It's really cool.
so good. Like, I mean, and I remember sitting there, I think I was like probably 17, 18, like somewhere around that age, and that was the first time I had seen speedruns. You know, it had been that late in my life because I'm not like a big
Yeah.
YouTube connoisseur, but I was watching it on Twitch. It was a GDQ event, which is Games Done Quick. Well, like I said, we'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit. But like, I'm watching this person play monkey ball, and they're going down the course, and they started off, and they send it all the way forward, their monkey as fast as they possibly can, and you like tilt the course or whatever to move the monkey and the ball like through the level, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
basically how it
you
works?
control the course and not the monkey, so
Yeah.
it's interesting.
So they tilt the whole level forward, get the ball going as fast as they can, and then they flip it up real quick. like as fast as they possibly can, and it launches the ball into the air, and it goes straight off the edge, and you're like, oh, they're screwed, and then it lands all the way at the bottom of the course,
Yeah,
and they skip
dude.
the whole thing with that one strat that they've nailed perfectly, and you know that they spent like hours,
They
just
just flip it
sending it
like,
all the way forward,
oh,
flicking it, trying to find the perfect angle to hit it at. And I mean, the way that they maneuver through some of those courses where you can't do like full level skips or anything like that, I mean, it is beautiful to watch. It really is. It's basically
yeah,
art. I mean, I
dude.
love it.
I mean, the what that makes me think of is like I have a special respect for people that do really fast speed runs, but I think I just have a next level of respect for the people that find these strategies, you know? 'Cause without them it wouldn't be possible. And
Yeah.
I still don't even understand how some of these individuals are finding these routes. It's a little boggling sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it is just like getting used to it. Because it's kind of like for me now, like going into a new Soulsborne game after playing other ones, I kind of understand what my win conditions are a lot quicker than
Yeah.
I used to. You start to recognize certain things that your character can do. You look for certain mannerisms from, the environment, from the bosses, from your enemies, that sort of thing. And once you understand the limitations of games similar to it, when you go into a new game, you take all that knowledge from the previous game with you, you know?
It's it's just like when it starts getting into the really micro specific things like frame data and these little time saves that make this much difference, but to someone who's at a world record level, that's the newest thing, that's game breaking for them, so it, that stuff just blows my mind, like the amount of time that you would have to put into this game to even recognize that this will save you like a second of time is just props to you guys.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I'll just follow your routes.
I mean, and I feel like it's like comparing like professional athletes to college athletes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
That's kind of the vibe. You look at how fast someone can run a 40 or how fast someone can, like or how good someone is at basketball or soccer or whatever game it is, football for some people. If that's what you're into, and you look at like at that level of play, a college basketball player could absolutely run circles around me. I am terrible at basketball. You know what I mean? But even
yeah,
still, like I would say that like the skill gap between college and professional level, for people who are just getting ready to go into the pros is probably not that big. But at the same time, that little bit of skill differential is like game breaking for the
yeah, makes a
pros.
difference
You know what
for
I
sure.
mean? Like just the nuances that you learn playing at that level, you know what I mean? Of just like understanding
Exactly
the
like
game,
that.
and it's the idea of iron sharpens iron too, you know. So once you
Yeah,
get to that pro level, you're playing against people who have been playing the game and have been understanding the game and can impart this knowledge to you, or you can learn it from them from experiencing it for yourself. And I think speedrunning is very similar, you know. So when one
exactly. Yeah,
speedrunner who's a world record holder sees someone else break his record using a new strategy, that speedrunner looks at them and they're
he's
like,
taking
okay,
that strat.
exactly, he's taken that strat
The
and
yoink.
all the other ones he already knows. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The Odyssey speedrun, it it just keeps going down, man. Like I remember maybe about last year, earlier last year, they were still trying to break sub hour, and now it's at 57 minutes and something odd seconds. Like it's crazy. And I feel like I do pretty well sometimes. My best run is an hour and 23 minutes.
For the
Like
whole
that,
game.
yeah.
Wow. That's
But
crazy.
people are hitting 57 minutes sub hours. Like that's crazy to me. Imagine just beating Odyssey in 57 minutes.
I couldn't, dude.
I
I could
sometimes
not.
I enjoy a meal for 57 minutes, like
Yeah. That's yeah, no kidding. I take that long to eat my food. You're trying to beat
yeah.
a whole video game? Not a chance. But Eriko also said watching Destiny 1 two-man raids were crazy. That was my entry into high-level video game like understanding. And I think that brings up something else that's pretty interesting too is like this race to world first that happens whenever a
Yeah.
new raid comes out in like an online multiplayer game. I know it happens in Final Fantasy 14, it happens in Destiny 2, it happens in World of Warcraft. I think the Division 2 also, whenever they were releasing new raids on a regular basis, they were having races for those. You know, I
Mhm.
mean that's a really popular thing nowadays too, and that's speed running.
It is speedrunning, yeah.
You know,
World first.
um, I don't think that people really record their times and how long it takes them to do the entire raid after that.
You did it
Um,
first.
but they were the first ones to complete it. And I mean, it is a race essentially. So
Yeah,
that's
it's a different type of speedrunning for sure, but
yeah.
I would still call it a speedrun. Why not?
So I mean, what do you think like is the main source of entertainment value for something like this? You know what I mean? Like, what is it that draws people in so much about these things, about speed runs, about seeing people, play this game at this level and get through it as fast as they possibly can? What do you think is the main draw there for most people?
From my perspective, I can't speak for everyone, but
Hmm.
I think personally, like what the appeal would be is like you're watching someone execute sometimes very, I guess, difficult maneuvers, or that they're trying to beat this time. And I think being there and being a part of like that journey and watching like, oh man, he's getting to this one part. This is a game, or excuse me, this is like a run ending segment right here. Like if you don't do this, it's over. And there's moments like that kind of throughout the run, or some people just watch because they want to see you mess up, like you get to a certain part and you bump and it's game over and people cheer. And then I think that's the biggest entertainment for me, is just I like watching it. I enjoy the mechanics, and I guess it depends on the game, but I think that's another big thing to it, is the game. Like I wouldn't watch somebody just speedrun anything, but if it's something I'm interested in, I'm there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that there's definitely something to be said for like people who are getting close to breaking a record. Like the hype surrounding that when someone's on
Hmm.
a really good run and they're making their splits with great time and like
It's hype,
you're
man.
you're seeing it happen and you're like this could be the run where they break the record. There's something to be
Yeah.
said for being there. I
Yeah,
remember
exactly.
again, this isn't like exactly a speedrun type thing, but like the race to like world first 60 in classic World of Warcraft. I mean, there was esports teams putting people out there and getting groups together and stuff like that. Like the big names in World of Warcraft, like Method and Complexity and people like that, had people who were affiliated with their organizations racing to get to world first level 60 in World of Warcraft Classic. And I mean, obviously Classic was years ago, so this is the new Classic server that people were doing it on. And some random guy named Joker D from Malta. You know, who'd been playing on private servers for a while. I mean, he just came out of nowhere and he was streaming it and he blew everybody out of the water. He was the world first level 60 on World of Warcraft Classic WoW, and he wasn't affiliated with anybody. And I mean, his Twitch stream blew up and he got picked up by an org after this because of just like his how well he did on that. And I mean, after
Nice.
he hit level 60 in the main city online, there was a whole bunch of people just like standing around in the city, like and he just like walked through the city and stuff like that. And it was basically like a parade. I mean, it was sick. It was so cool, and
That
like
is
so
cool.
many people were there watching him do it, and like being around for that to happen, and like watching it happen live and stuff like that. I mean, it was electric, man. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was so fun seeing it happen, and like just the idea of like being there for something like that, getting to witness and be a part of that game's history. I think there's something to be said for that. That
Yeah.
brings a lot of value to speed runs for a lot of people, because even though we understand that like we would never be able to do it, you know, like
Right.
that's never something that I would be able to do personally. I don't have the patience for it. I don't have the mind for it. I don't have the interest to do it. I just like to enjoy my games really casually. But like being able to see something like that happen. I mean, if you're familiar with football, it'd be like if the Cleveland Browns ended up winning a Super Bowl after being like the worst team in the NFL for years. I mean, they were
We're
like the
close last year, I think.
yeah, they were actually looking really good last year. The Cleveland Browns
Yeah.
are like a legit team now. But I mean, it was legit like a couple of decades that they were hot garbage. I mean, they were the
Yeah.
worst. They were they were the like they everybody like they're when they had to play the Browns, they would talk about it like it was the second bye week, basically. They were like this one's guaranteed, this one's free. I mean, it'd be like getting to be there for that. Like even though I never would be able to play football, seeing a team like that come back and do it would be amazing. Even though I'd never
Right.
be able to do any of these speed runs, seeing other people do these things and getting to be there and celebrate that, it's awesome.
See,
It's
now
it's
that
really
you've
cool.
said this, though, if you went and did it, it would have that much more of an effect on you and the audience, Like
I don't want to speed run games, man. I
you would you
don't.
would come on, just listen. Listen. It's a fun time, all right?
I think the closest thing that I would do would be like speed running, getting a win with every character in Smite. But eventually, I would have to play
That would be
Persephone, so
cool.
I can't do it. And unfortunately, that's not something that would ever happen.
You should look into that, actually. Like I bet you could get a speedrun.com category done for that and be like the only dude on the board, and it would be kind of sick.
Yeah, I mean, I might have a category for it right now if nobody else has claimed the record. Just having said that, I started back in like 2013 or 14. Just like 8 year speed run or so,
A
no
casual
worries.
8 year speed
Yeah,
run, yeah.
we did it. No, nothing to sweat about. It's totally fine. But so we've mentioned it a couple of times. Have you ever watched GDQ? I'm assuming as a fan of
Yeah,
speedruns you have. Um,
absolutely.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, GDQ is Games Done Quick, and it's a charity speedrunning marathon they broadcast on Twitch. I don't know if they broadcast on YouTube too. I'm sure you can watch it on their own website as well, but it's basically a charity speedrunning event where a whole bunch of speedrunners from a whole, like, literally every game you can imagine comes together. I mean, they
Yeah.
speedrun Metroid, they speedrun Mario, they speedrun Zelda, they speedrun Final Fantasy, they speedrun like Grim Fandango, they speedrun like literally every single game that you can think of that's single player, honestly.
I've
Like
seen games I've never even heard of on GDQ before.
Yeah, absolutely. And they raise money for Doctors Without Borders and the Prevent Cancer Foundation. I mean, what they do is absolutely incredible. To date, they've raised over $31 million for charity in these events. They do post the replays to YouTube, but I don't think they stream on YouTube. Got you. Okay, thank you, Golden Duck. I appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Um, and I think that that's absolutely amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen a record be broken at Games Done Quick or anything like that, but like I love this event. This is one of my like favorite things to watch on Twitch, honestly.
It's so hype, and it's for such a good cause. Like it's taking all the that stuff that we just discussed, all the good things that might appeal to someone in speedrunning, putting
Mhm.
it into this large scale event and adding charity to it. It's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah. And I think that realistically, this is one of the most like wholesome sides of gaming right here.
Yeah.
Is is the Games Done Quick event, It's like it's a whole bunch of people coming together from a whole bunch of different like genres, interests of games, all of that, like all of the above, you know what I mean? Because like the same people who are playing Final Fantasy 14 or sorry, not Final Fantasy 14, like Final Fantasy 7, and doing speedruns of that game, probably are not the same people who are doing speedruns of Super Monkey Ball. Like I mean
It should be.
it's yeah, no kidding. It's different groups of people, you know what I mean? And it brings everybody together and unites them under one cause. There
Yeah.
are people who do speedruns of Skyrim and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's like easily recognizable to a lot of people, and it really brings like a whole bunch of different audiences together for the good cause of both, supporting Doctors Without Borders and the Prevent Cancer Foundation. And I,
Yes.
I think that that's really like when gaming is at its best is when it's bringing a whole bunch of people together from a whole bunch of different walks of lives, to unite
For one
together
cause.
for one cause. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it's nothing short of magical, man.
It is. It's great. And it has that electric atmosphere you discussed too. Everyone in chat, uh, I don't think I've ever gone into a GDQ stream and seen negativity. Like it's always just some hype, positive energy. I love it there.
Yeah. And every time that like a big donation comes through or something like that, like people can send messages and like they'll have announcers read
Yeah.
them out and like commentate the events and stuff like that. And like there's always like some cheesy stuff that's like getting said and things like that. And the whole thing is just so wholesome. Like I love it.
It's very wholesome.
It's just wholesome the whole way around. And sometimes the stuff's cheesy, sometimes it's corny. Who cares? It's we're here to have a good time and like keep a smile on people's faces for a good cause.
Yeah.
And like there's so many incredibly talented speedrunners who get to go out there and like showcase their game and the hard work that they get to put in and stuff like that. And I think it's absolutely amazing.
It's really interesting and informative too, because a lot of the runners I've seen, they sit there and they do a pretty good job when you're getting the runners audio, at least, not the commentators. Like the runners will just sit there and talk about it, the strategy, what's going on in their head as they do this thing here. Like it's very informative as a speedrunner too. You can pick up things if you're watching a game that you like to run.
Yeah, and for anyone else who's interested, the next Games Done Quick event is going to be the Summer Games Done Quick event happening this year, and it'll be taking place on July 4th to July 11th. So if you want to go get a look at that, I mean, please go support a fantastic cause. Go support all the speedrunners who go out and do that, and do their part to support charity.
Stellar.
Because
Heavy
the more
recommend.
support, the better. Yeah, strong recommendation from both of us. I mean, this is something that I think both of us have watched a few times over the years that it's been available.
Definitely.
But
Yeah. It Another thing, like I feel like speedrunning is just all about, you know, beating yourself. You're not worried about beating someone on an enemy team or an NPC. I mean, I guess sometimes in the games you're having to fight NPCs or whatnot, but like for the most part, once you're at the level of, this run is comfortable and I can do this at a decent time and now I'm making improvements. It's just all about beating your own brain, your own fingers, just your current capabilities, just constantly one upping. I think that's another big appeal for me. I just had to say that too.
I would say that like self-improvement is definitely like the cornerstone of my
Of gaming, I
multiplayer
guess.
game.
Yeah.
Like, well, for me personally, like what I try to do when I'm playing multiplayer games, and like people who watch my stream, they hear me talk about this all the time. Sometimes there's games that you go into and you just can't win, you know?
Yeah.
And like I take a lot of that speedrunning mentality and apply it to my multiplayer game. As soon as I look around and I'm like, this is not winnable, Like, and unless I'm playing Persephone and Beyond Tilted, like pretty much immediately I go into that like mindset where I'm like, even if I can't win, I'm trying to learn here. I'm trying to improve something. I'm trying to, get some new experience here that I didn't have before. I'm trying to get more understanding of the matchups. I'm trying to like get a firm grasp on what's currently happening so I can be ready and I can be prepared next time to either prevent myself from getting here or to be able to pull myself out of it in the event that I have to.
Yeah.
And I think that like putting yourself in that mindset and learning to put yourself in that mindset is so important. And that's something that speedruns is really great at teaching you, because you can look back through your run. I'm sure if you watch your VODs of your speedrun or anything like that, I don't know if you've done that before or not, to try to look for like exactly where it went wrong and then go back and try
Yeah.
to like practice the strat or try to work on something different or like see if there's another way that you can do that to, not lose time on that part of the run. But like I think that learning to do that is just so invaluable.
It,
And
it's it's like you said, it's more than just speed running. It is a cornerstone of gaming, like just that self-improvement stuff, no matter what genre you're playing.
yeah, absolutely. Eriko asked us, do you watch any fighting games, Vince, like Tekken, Soul Calibur, Street Fighter, Dragon Ball Fighter Z? I love watching the high level players take on, or sorry, on Tekken and Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I actually watch Super Smash Brothers. That is the
Yeah.
only fighting game like at a high level that I watch. And I don't really watch a lot of the people who stream it personally, but I watch a lot of the tournaments that happen for Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, and I love watching it. I'll watch the Melee tournaments occasionally, but like the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate tournaments, man, I don't know. There's just something about it. Maybe it's because that's the only fighting game I'm actually semi decent at, but like watching what some of those people can do with those characters against people who are the best people in the world.
Yeah, dude. It's
Like
incredible.
I think that's what gets it for me. You see somebody play that much better than someone else who is arguably equal as good as them. Like the things
Yeah.
that these people pull off, I would be lucky to pull off against somebody who's brand new at the game. And these people are doing it to professionals who get paid to play Super Smash Brothers. Like it's mind-boggling to me some of the things that they can do. It really is.
I'm extremely biased towards Super Smash Brothers. But I really liked watching Dragon Ball Z Fighters gameplay.
Mhm.
I had a little phase where I was watching a whole lot of the pro play for Fighters. That game is really really cool. I like that one.
Yeah, I've only seen a little bit of the gameplay for it. Like a lot of the gameplay for like Dragon Ball Fighters looks really, really like just over the top, explosive like anime action, and I love it. I
It's
haven't seen
clean
any
too.
tournaments though.
The game itself looks great. It almost looks like they peeled pages directly out of the manga and just slapped them in the game. The
Yeah,
animation, it's
perfect.
great. Like frame by frame kind of. It's weird, but it works.
Yeah. Zava said, I agree, Devin, especially when you're starting noobish like me. It's great to just try and improve for yourself, even ignore comparing yourself to leaderboards, etc. If you can focus on your personal development, which can be way more fulfilling than, say, tilting, tilting on Valorant or flaming your team or opponents. Yeah,
Yeah. And I mean,
yeah,
there's self improvement in games like Valorant too, but like with speedrunning, like you said, you're not tilting out on anyone. The anger's going nowhere, but inwards. If you're getting mad at anyone, it's yourself.
yeah,
So like,
yeah,
that's I would rather be angry with myself than be flaming other people.
absolutely. And also, thank you for the follow, Swiftbone. I appreciate it. But I look at things like that, and it's like, I think that one of the most it can be kind of counterproductive sometimes, but I think that one of the best things that you can do for yourself when you're learning a new multiplayer game is mute your teammates. I hate to say it, but like if people start to get even a little bit toxic, if people start to get even a little bit rude to other people, like just mute them. And
Yeah.
even more so, like and Game on Rini just said this real quick, and I've noticed the loudest players sometimes are the worst. Good God, the amount of bad takes I get from random Smite players, man. I will tell you, like just and even not in Smite, even in Valorant, okay, in Overwatch, everything like that. Somebody starts to do bad, their first instinct is I blame literally every other person in my vicinity, literally anyone else but me, you know.
Yeah,
And
that's the
like
classic multiplayer random move right there, blaming everything but yourself. I know it because I do it. I've been doing it in Valorant lately. It's bad. I need to stop.
oh, that's funny. Like, and I had a situation like this, and I've talked about this a little bit on my stream the past couple of days. But I was playing Chiron, who again one of my arguably my best hunter right now, I would say, in Smite. For those of you who aren't familiar with Smite, I mean he's a hunter. I play ADC for the most part, and I have an 89% win rate with this hunter in ranked. I've one loss, and I was playing a casual match. I had a Discordia who's a mage, was playing in the mid lane. I was playing in the dual lane. I was pushed up really far because I was getting a kill and then I was going to take a tower. Okay? She was like, enemy missing middle. I saw the call. I saw people rotating over. I was like, there's no way I'm getting out of here. I was way too deep. I was way too out of position. I was screwed. I was like, there, okay, I'm going to get this kill. I'm going to get this tower for sure. And then I'm going to take my loss. It is what it is. Like, I'm going to die. It happens. I recognized that and I committed. I got the kill. I got the tower and I died. Discordia rotated ultra late, way too late to be able to swing the fight. Okay? And then immediately goes, oh my gosh, you're so awful. All right? I'm never calling a rotation for you again. I'm never calling missing for you again. And I'm never going to rotate over again. You're going to be on your own. And I was like, that's okay. I mean, why are you mad though?
I handled it.
Like, I did what I set out to do. But see, she rotated over and died anyways because she wasn't paying attention. You know what I mean? Like, and how am I supposed to how am I supposed to stop what I'm doing and type to her and be like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and get this kill and get this tower, and then I'm already dead and there's nothing you can do. I can't type that mid-combat. I can't convey that to her. But if she had seen that I was out of position, that was her time to be like, okay, he's definitely screwed. I'm going to do my own thing over here and not feed a kill too.
Out.
You know what I mean? Or rotate quickly so we can turn the fight. Right. Instead, she got irate and was irate for the rest of the game. She went positive. She was 3-2-1. I ended up going 7-2-1, and she was still BMing me. I was top damage and top kills in the lobby. I did my job, and she was still just angry about it. And I was like, okay, cool, And she was just like, you're just such a garbage player. And I was like, clearly, obviously, I'm garbage. And then we get out of the game.
That was a bad day. Jeez.
Yeah. Or sorry, she went 3-1-1. We get out of the game, and she starts flaming the enemy team, her enemy lane opponent, for no reason. He went 3-2-1. The difference between their two skill, like scoreboards was one death. And she was like, wow, Kukulkan, you got absolutely destroyed. You were terrible. And she's just being rude to other people. Like, sometimes what you gotta do, I hate to say this, is just treat your multiplayer game like a single player game, especially if you're playing alone. If you can play with friends, play with friends. But if you're playing by yourself, you will hear bad takes, you will hear bad opinions, you will hear bad advice, you will hear people tell you to build the wrong thing, you will hear people tell you to rotate the wrong way. I mean, it's just... people always think they're right.
Yeah, definitely. I'm at this point in Valorant I'm iron, right? And my next rank is gonna be bronze. If I'm not playing with like a 5-stack, I will pretty much mute everyone on my team because I know that I have nothing to gain from them except communication, maybe call outs. There's that to be worried about, but at the end of the day, I feel like I can play just fine in those lobbies without their callouts. Like,
yeah, I mean,
and I'd rather not get flamed if I don't.
Something that really opened my eyes to exactly how valuable callouts are in games like that. I think Smite has a really good system for making callouts without being on voice comms, anyways, and I think it's more than enough. But if you understand the game well, or even a little bit well, you don't really need the call-outs. Like, if you know how to pay attention. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
if the mini map is there, you got ears, you can listen to things. You got eyeballs, you can see things. Like, it's just
exactly.
They're just another set of eyes and ears, really, at the end of the day, which helps, but you could do it.
and at the same time, another set of eyes and ears are unreliable.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
true. Yeah.
the moment that I recognize this, and I haven't watched Moon stream in a long time, but back when Moon was playing Overwatch, okay, he was playing Overwatch, and he was playing in whatever like Masters, Grandmasters, top 500 lobbies he was in because that's what level he plays at. And someone in his chat goes, "Why aren't you in voice comms? You're just like, hindering your team or whatever." And he was just like, "Why am I not in voice comms? Because it's Overwatch. It's not rocket science." And then he won.
Yeah,
And then he
dude.
proceeded to win. Because you're
I
right.
like that. I
It's
like that.
not rocket science. It's a game. You can look around and eventually like just game awareness, playing the game, develop enough of an understanding that for the most part, you don't need to be in comms sweating your balls off every single game, making sure that you're playing at maximum peak efficiency to get a win. You just need to not make bad choices and hope your teammates don't make bad choices either. That's
Yeah.
literally it.
That's the hard part though.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
Sometimes. I got to get better about not blaming my teammates. I'm working on that. I'm sorry, guys.
Mhm. But I mean,
My teammates are great. They're doing their best.
the amount of times that in low level lobbies of Valorant, because I play a little bit of Valorant too, you guys know, but like the amount of times I see people on defense instead of just holding a site, just like push up and try to get aggressive on defense. I'm like, you literally lose so much advantage by trying to push up and get aggressive when you're on defense, especially outnumbered, especially if they've noticed that you've spent the last 6 turns trying to push up and get aggressive when you're on defense, and it puts you wildly out of position, so they just wait, get a pick, and now you're outnumbered.
Yep.
And they just don't learn. And they just keep going, and they're like, why isn't my team with me? Well, because you're on defense, homie. Maybe
why,
you're not...
why are you pushing?
Exactly. When they could just rotate around and go group up with the rest of their team after the enemy pushes, or just wait and wait out the timer. I mean, people make
Yes.
even more mistakes when they're low on time. There's just so much that people do that like hinders themselves, that they then immediately look to and blame other people for. And I think realistically, like one of the most appealing things about like speedrunning for me is the fact that like you are, like you said, just racing against yourself.
Yeah.
There's nothing to worry about like other people screwing you up, and you can still like find a way to make it competitive if you like that competitive side of things and you like the self-improvement and you like grinding towards something and progressing towards something, without
Right.
the hindrance of all those other shenanigans. And I think that's a big part of the magic of speedrunning is like feeling that progress and feeling that self-fulfillment when you finally reach that goal that you're trying to hit. I mean, do you have a goal for your Mario Odyssey speedruns?
My short-term goal is under an hour and 20 minutes, which is close because I'm at an hour 23.
Let's
And
go.
then long-term, man, I want to get within top 500. That's the goal right now. I think I'm at like 1800 or something, 1700 maybe,
Bro,
somewhere around there.
that's pretty good though.
Yeah,
I mean, that's up there, man. That is
it's
up
all
there
right.
on the leaderboards. I mean,
It's a lot
so
higher than when I started.
where did you start at?
148, I think. Well,
100.
that was like my first run where I really knew what I was doing. The first actual run I ever did when I was like learning. The way I learned it was I put the guide on my right hand side. It was a YouTube guide, and I would watch the guy's movements and I would just mimic them on my own and
Mhm.
then move on. And that took me like 2.5, 3 hours. But I wouldn't even really count that one. The first one was about like 1 hour, 58 minutes or something like that.
Hmm. So, have you like since you've been doing the Super Mario Odyssey speedruns, have you like developed any of your own like nuances or strategies or anything like that while you're doing the speedrun that have like impacted how you do the runs that you haven't seen other people do yet? Or is pretty much all of it just trying to emulate what the fastest people are doing right now?
Uh I would say it's pretty much just me trying to emulate what the fastest people are doing.
Hmm.
Because I don't think I'm doing anything game breaking. I think that's the kind of stuff I'll start worrying about, like if I ever got to that point, like I'm hanging in with world record holders. That I think that's when that kind of stuff comes into play. But right now I'm just trying to emulate to the point. If I can emulate well enough, I could get to like an hour. So that's where I'm at. I think sub hours where it starts getting a little dicey.
Hmm. So pretty much like once you get to that point, that's the point where you're like, I mean, assuming that you hit sub an hour, if for some reason that you decide even after you hit the 120, you want to keep pushing yourself, you want to keep learning the strats, you get to the sub hour. Do you keep going or are you content with the sub hour? Like where's your like speedrunning mind at?
I'd probably like give it a few shots. I wouldn't be against it. I'd try. I feel like it would be really cool to hit like a 59 minute, like actually
Mhm.
get it under an hour, even if it's just by a second. Like That would be a pretty hard flex. That was a hard thing to do for the Mario speedrunning community for a while.
Hmm.
So I
For
feel like that
me,
would be like a little badge on my medals of like it would be so cool. I'm gonna fanboy about it.
yeah, and you should. I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment, dude. Being able to beat it in under an hour, especially having that have been a milestone for the Odyssey community for such a long time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that was something that was difficult for everybody to do. So you get in there. I mean, you're a part of the club now. You know,
Oh
you've
yeah.
you've done it. You're a part of that community forever. You're kind of in there, and until somebody comes up and they're like, oh yeah, I did it in 27 minutes or whatever. Like if that's even like humanly possible somehow under perfect circumstances. But
Yeah, dude. There's no
like
way.
for me personally, like I think the hardest thing about speedrunning for me is feeling like I would never get to the level that I want to be at. You know? Like I would want to at least try for a number one. You know what I mean? Like cuz that's how I do things. Like if I'm doing it, I want to do it to the best that I possibly can, and I'm always constantly seeking improvement. Like
Yeah.
that's part of why I like multiplayer games so much is because I feel like there's always room to improve, you know? And I'm constantly learning, and there's not really like an end goal in sight that I set for myself, and it's something that I can constantly just wake up and be like, okay, I'm gonna do better today. If I were to do speedrunning single player games, like whether I say it or not, in the back of my mind, there's that thought of I want to be number one. Like
Yeah.
it's just the spirit of competition in me.
I
I
think
want to be first, but I don't think I have the technical ability to ever get there, or that I would enjoy investing my time in getting there.
yeah, see, and that's a big thing because I feel like a lot of runners might not believe that they have the technical ability, but
Mhm.
you can move past that, you know, but not actually wanting to gain the technical ability, that's where you might get yourself in a bit of a rut there.
Yeah, because I think I
Also,
would. Go ahead.
I was gonna say for the record, there's 2,700 speedruns on speedrun.com for Mario Odyssey, and out of all those runs, only 28 of them are sub hour. So you
28.
just so you get an idea of how hard that is. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. I mean, for me though, like I feel like if I ever hit the sub hour, I would never try to push it any farther. You know, like part of me
I'd
would want to.
probably yeah, like it's that number one mentality. I'd be like, it's there, but it's not there, you know? But
Yeah,
I've already come this close.
but like for me mentally, I know that I would hit the sub hour, and as soon as I hit the sub hour, I would be so relieved that I finally got there. I would try pushing like probably 3 more times to see if I could get a better time, and just screw it up. Just like majorly
Yeah.
screw, like completely screw it up. Like
But it's
just do
okay.
the worst I've ever speed ran, and then give up. Be like, I hit my sub hour. I'm never doing this again. I'm good. I'm just done with speed
That's
running.
kind of one of the neat things about speedrunning, I think, is like you don't have to once you've hit a personal best, you don't necessarily have to do that well ever again. It's not like your progress is going to be overwritten by something else. Like you've done it. So you could try it and do what you said, just kind of be like, ah, nah, I've already gotten this far. Let me try one more time, and then you botch it. Doesn't matter. You already got that far before. You've done it.
Yeah. Um, Taylor said, my controversial opinion, speedrunning games outside of maybe the top 20 games is a waste of time. Maybe a random game from 2000, playing a random game from 2002 and grinding hours and hours to be the top runner is time wasted. You can invest that time to compete at a pro level or speedrun a game with more opportunity like Super Mario Odyssey or Ocarina of Time, where being a top speedrunner can get you money through YouTube or Twitch. So, I mean, what do you, maybe I just don't get it.
My
How do you feel about it?
I kind of like understand that because if you're trying to be a top speedrunner and you're playing a game that nobody's speedrunning, then you're not a top speedrunner. You're just the only person playing that game, you know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's that's where the more like competitive side of it comes into. Because if you want to play that game casually, then then that's all you. That's your hobby. Like have fun with what you have fun with. But
Yeah.
like if you're trying to be more competitive with it, I guess going to a game that's more saturated would probably be the better thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I agree that maybe like the time wasted is potentially poorly worded, but I think that he's specifically talking about people who are speedrunning with the intent of like getting a name from being a speedrunner, you know?
Yeah.
I doubt there's
Yeah.
many people who, if I go back and play, The Lion King on Super Nintendo, are going to be absolutely astounded at my speed run and give me worldwide fame and notoriety for my Lion King Super Nintendo speed run in the event that I hit a world record. People might be impressed, and I might get a couple of articles on a old school gaming news like website
Yeah.
for a little while, but it's not going to give you a streaming career. You
I
know?
think the move at that point would just be like to niche it and be like, I only play just like these off-brand games and I only speed run them, and you just try to get your name on as many boards as possible.
Yeah.
That's probably like the best way to do that
Yeah.
type of route. Unless you just really enjoy that game and you're just holding on to hope that there's gonna be other people that run it, like
Yeah. And
then
I
it's on
think
you to get spread the word because it is a forums page, the speedrun.com uh forums page, like that it's all run by community. It's not run by anyone that isn't it's not like a corporate thing or anything.
yeah, and I think that, I get where he's coming from like from the perspective of like if you're trying to do this to get fame or notoriety, there are better ways.
Oh yeah.
And I agree that there are better investments on time. But like I look at like this specifically and I'm like, if you want to do this for fun and only as a hobby, then go ahead and do it. I compare this honestly to streaming on Twitch.
Yeah.
I would say that 99% of people on Twitch will never make it. They just won't. No matter how hard they grind, no matter how talented they are, or how talented they think they are, or assume they are. I mean, Twitch is not an immediate source of income. I mean, people who look at me and say, "Dude, you make it look easy. What you do?" I'm like, I have been streaming since 2015. Like this is not something that happened quickly. These are not talents that I developed overnight. This is not something that was handed to me. I fought for this, And I fought for this while I was working other jobs. I fought for this while I was playing multiple games, trying a whole bunch of different things, working on my overlays, working on my graphics, my notifications, everything like that. Like my stream went through a lot of phases, And it started out as a hobby. I never thought I was going to be able to make money on Twitch. I never thought this was going to be a sustainable career for me, okay? The whole time that I've been streaming, I was like, there's a part of me that was always like, you've got what it takes to make it if you can get there, But that if you can get there is such a huge part of it that I was like, if I never get there, okay, so be it. At least I tried, And like, if you think for a second that you're just going to jump in and suddenly like make money and have widespread success and your stuff's going to be banging and you're going to take it by storm and all that stuff, like, cool. I love the energy, but be realistic about your goals, And I think that, like he said, if you're just trying to get out there and do the speed runs for a hobby and have fun with it, a lot of people consider gaming to be a waste of time. I saw Zavis mention that there. Boomer's been looking at us thinking we're wasting our time for years,
Yep.
Like, this is a form of entertainment. Do it because you love it. Don't do it because you think it's going to make you famous. If you're trying to get famous speedrunning, there's absolutely better games to do and invest your time there, But I think that if you're only doing it for money, that takes some of the passion out of it too. So I think that realistically, the people who
money, that sounds awful.
Yeah, the people who do speedrun the more
to do that.
Yeah, exactly. The people who do the more obscure games and stuff like that, it's because they love those games. They have some kind of attachment to those games. I'm sure there are definitely a few, like plenty of misguided souls out there who are like, oh yeah, I'm going to get on the leaderboard and that's going to make me famous on Twitch. And they're still not entertaining to watch. And it is what it is, But
I mean, frankly, like I've looked at some of the VODs for some of the top speedrunners in Odyssey, and if you watch their stream, it's just like it's dead silence, which I understand because like you're breaking records, but like, man, I wouldn't want to sit there, and I don't know if I'd want to watch that very much. Like, at least say something.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, especially if you're streaming on Twitch, there's a few levels to it. I think if you're doing YouTube, it's a little bit easier because you're not entertaining a live audience. People who seek out your YouTube video, they're there specifically for that content. They know what they're looking for, and they find it. So who cares if you're not talking and interacting or anything like that? But if you have no viewers and people come in and start talking to you about what you're doing, talk back to them. Even if you scuff your run a little bit, talk back to those people. That's where the growth comes from at first, in my opinion. But
oh yeah, there's kind of a neat little like thing of watching these like silent dudes just sitting there straight faced and serious, and they beat the record and they're just like, oh, like freaking out at the end. It's pretty funny, but you could just skip to the end if you want to see that.
Yeah, no kidding. Absolutely. Game on Rennie said, I've had friends say that they can jump on and just have fame. I was like, good luck. Yeah. And I think that realistically there's a lot of people who see other people find success on Twitch or find success on YouTube, and they don't see all of the effort that goes in behind the scenes. I would say it's the same thing with speedrunning, You see
Yeah.
all these people who have names, or even in the fighting game community, you see people like Daigo, you see people like Sonic Fox, you see people like MKLeo, people who fought and grinded and struggled their way to the top, and they did it for years. I mean, MKLeo got his name as arguably the best Smash player currently, and he got that name only in Smash Ultimate. MKLeo has at least been playing since Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I remember hearing about his name back then. But there were a lot of other different people on the scene who were better than him, and he fought and he grinded and like his whole way up. He wasn't out here making thousands of dollars, millions of dollars playing Smash or streaming. Smash tournaments don't give you that much money. If you look at the actual amount of money that the players make, it's terrible. It's sad. A lot of the funding that they get come from their streams and their YouTube videos and things like that. And he had to fight to get that title, man. It didn't come quickly for him. So if you're getting out there and you're thinking that just because you're trying something, or that you're reinventing the wheel by, making your title chill stream and getting on there and not talking and, just having your gameplay up there and no face cam, no overlays, no alerts, you don't interact with your chat, you're not reinventing the wheel. Nobody's going to want to be impressed and you're not going to get famous.
Duos with the homies.
Oh no, chill duo stream with the homies. Okay, all right. Stream sins number 1. There's something to be said for the chill stream title too, because one of my buddies was streaming the other day, and he had chill stream in his title. I was like, Jason, streamer sin number 1, don't make chill stream your title, and he's a really entertaining guy to watch, and he's actually just a chill guy. And he's like, but what if it is a chill stream? I was like, got me there. You're not wrong. Maybe it's just a chill stream, and if that's the content that you want to put out there, then put your content out there. Be exactly the person that you are, And he was, and people came through and they enjoyed his chill stream. And I mean, this guy, to be fair, you talk about having an it factor, because in my opinion, if you're streaming, you got to have a little bit of something else on top of just being good at the game you're playing or just talking to your chat, because sometimes chat's not going to be active and sometimes the game's going to be boring. I think that you have to have a little bit of extra sauce on top of that. And believe me, listen to this guy talk. He's the voice of an angel. I mean, this guy has one of the most soothing, deep voices. I can't even do it with my voice. My voice is not that high, but listen to this guy talk. I'm like, bro, I could listen to this guy talk all day. I mean, he's a
natural gift. He was born with it.
Exactly. Exactly. He's got that corpse husband vibe where he could just go on there and talk, and people would just listen to him talk. Honestly, So some people have it, but that's his it factor. You know what I mean? So he can go out there with the chill stream title, and people will ignore the title because they want to hear his voice. But if you're out there without the it factor, putting things like that out into the universe, then why do people care? Why would they click on your stream? And I think
they don't need to.
I think well, obviously we were equating this to speedrunning niche games and things like that, but there's got to be something that you're doing where if you're trying to grow and find fame or profit or something like that in something like that draws people into your stream for a reason. I think the one thing that you mentioned about maybe just go and speedrun every single old game, that'd probably be the way to do it. That would be a pretty solid niche.
Yeah, some people, I think about the people that do only retro games and stuff, Same kind of idea. Maybe just speedrunning older or only indie games, that'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could see that.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to mention about speedrunning games, or if anyone in chat has any questions about anything that you want us to discuss? I mean, speedrunning related, not speedrunning related. I know we've discussed Smash and Twitch streaming and fighting games in general and tournaments and stuff like that, Valorant. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to shout them out. But Devin, did you have any other ending thoughts that you wanted to add about today's topic, speedrunning, anything we've discussed so far?
Nothing I can think of.
Nothing you can think of?
If you want to try speedrunning, go for it. It's very fun. And if you ever need help with anything, you know where to find me. You could send me a message on Twitter or Twitch or whatever. I could help you out. That's it. That's about it,
Awesome.
Speedrunning. Get into it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a really cool thing. And guys, please, once again, I mean, we wanted to say this on stream, but if you're not already, please go support Games Done Quick whenever their next event is. I mean, the Summer Games Done Quick 2021, again, is going to be July 4th through July 11th, and it is an absolutely awesome charity event where a lot of gamers and a lot of different communities come together to support Doctors Without Borders or the Prevent Cancer Foundation are the two main charities that they support. And it's a really, really awesome event for a great cause. So please, be sure to just drop their Twitch channel a follow, drop the YouTube channel a follow. They got a lot of awesome VODs on there of previous speedruns that are super entertaining to watch. And I can't say enough how much those people deserve your love and support. So
Yes.
please be sure to go stop by there and check them
Show 'em
out.
some love.
Yeah, because they're a really, really incredible like organization that does great things on a really regular basis. I think before COVID they were doing like a GDQ event every quarter. I don't know if they've like continued to do them the same way. What are you doing with your hand there? What's
I'm gonna wait. Come here, Vince.
Oh, were you trying to make a heart? Oh gosh.
Yeah. Bring it over here. Bring it over here.
Okay, I'm trying to wait. Where does it go? Where does it go?
Wait.
Is
Keep going.
that
Keep going.
it? Oh my gosh, dude, this
Wait, no,
is
you bring it to the border. Bring it to the border of the cam.
dude, this is so weird because my camera's kind of flipped.
Yeah, mine's flipped too. I had to.
Why are we
Took me
doing
a
this?
second.
Why are we doing this?
Oh, we did it. We did it.
Kind
It's
of.
there.
Kind of.
I
I
just had
can't
to do it one
I can't get
time.
the angle. It's like playing Quap with my own hand. I hate it. Okay, I'm done here.
You're trying to make
I'm
a
done
heart.
here. Let's say I tried my best. But Vince's it factor is bringing it around town for sure. Yeah, apparently I added a channel point reward in. I didn't mention this in the things that I did this week. But I added a channel point reward for bringing it around town, like SpongeBob does. So I just stand up and bring it around town a couple of times for good measure, because that's apparently worth doing.
Yeah, dude. That is an it factor. That's pretty.
Yeah. I mean, I would say for me, I would say for me, probably my it factor is like how I engage my audience. Honestly, I think that I'm really good about like engaging the people that come into my stream and talking with them and making them feel valued, and like it matters to me that they're in my stream. Honestly, I do my best to make sure everybody feels important who comes through. I would say that's probably what my it factor is, if anything. And people keep on telling me I have a nice voice to listen to. I still don't vibe with that, but I think everybody hates the sound of their own voice.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
You know, I think that as soon as I heard Jason, you know, who I was talking about, who has like the really like deep, awesome voice, tell me that he hates the sound of his own voice, I was like, okay, it's true. Literally every human being doesn't like the sound of their voice. If this guy doesn't like his voice, then he nobody likes it. So also for anyone who hasn't already, please follow us on Twitter. Be sure to check us out. You got the social links right there in the chat. I typed them in for you. Also, if you have any questions, comments, thoughts about the show, suggestions, things that you want us to do, things that you want us to cover, send us an email. Send us a Discord DM, whatever it is that you got to do, whatever way you can do it. But the email is gamingtonic1@gmail.com. We want to hear from you guys. We would love to. We're excited to hear from you. And also, do not forget, if you want to be a guest on the show, there is a link right there in the chat. You can go ahead and fill out an application. We would love to have you on here. All you need is a webcam and a mic. And we will work with you to get you on the show talking about a topic that you care about, that you love, that you want to hear, you know, us discuss with you. Or if you just want to get your name out in front of a different audience, we would love to have you on the show. So, Devin, for anyone who wants to find more of you and your content, where can they find you at, man?
You can find me at twitch.tv/DevinCronk. You can also find me on Twitter at DevinCronk with 2 Ks. And then if you go to my Twitter, I got a Linktree link in my bio, and all my other links are there. And I will also be putting all the links in the YouTube description for this podcast. So if you're watching on YouTube or listening anywhere else, you can find all the links on YouTube.
Awesome. Excellent.
How about you, Vince? Where can we find you?
Well, for anyone who wants to find more of me and my content, you can go ahead and follow the channel here, twitch.tv/justvince, or you can check me out on Twitter at Vince0094. And I would love to be hearing from you guys. So we are going to go ahead and look for somebody else to raid if no one else has any questions or thoughts or anything like that. And please, please, please come with us and join us on this raid. We're going to go show somebody else support. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. And take care, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.